There is a common conception that the Confederacy of Independent Systems essentially lost the Clone Wars after the Battle of Coruscant. But is this true, or is this belief the victim of imperial propaganda? Today we will answering this question. Before we begin, it's important to note that we will focus on the Navy, since billions of battle droids are useless if you don't have the fleet to invade other planets or protect your own from orbital bombardment. But with that out of the way, we can finally start. At first, we need to estimate the strength of the CIS Navy during the Battle of Coruscant and how many vessels the Separatists lost. We don't have exact numbers, but we know that the Confederate Navy consisted of 100 fleets with a strength of 200 to 4,000 ships each. It's reasonable to assume that these fleets were fully equipped when this system was implemented, meaning that the CIS had 400,000 vessels at its disposal 6 months after the Battle of Geonosis. But the CIS had also access to millions of ships it inherited from the local planetary defense forces. These ships, however, weren't used for offensive warfare and consisted primarily of low-quality ships. Including the many losses during the war and the reinforcements built on Permant and Minterine and other shipyard worlds, I assume that the Confederacy had 200,000 vessels during the Battle of Coruscant. Now we need to estimate the strength of the Republic Navy. We can't estimate it as precisely, but we know that the Separatist Navy outnumbered that of the Republic by a factor of 4 to 1 by early 21 BBY. This gap narrowed over the course of the war, and it's important to note that the Republic was much more industrialized. But it's implied that the Confederacy was still able to defeat the Republic in 19 BBY, since the Outer Rim sieges were a colossal trap orchestrated by Sidious, Dooku and Grievous. I would say that 150 to 180,000 vessels is a reasonable number for the Republic Navy. With that out of the way, we can now focus on the question of how many ships were actually present during the battle. We know that Grievous requisitioned a whole 6 of the CIS Navy for the operation. In other words, the Confederacy used over 30,000 ships in several waves to attack Coruscant. Legends doesn't give us an answer on how many ships they lost, but in canon it's stated that the CIS lost 1/3 of the entire fleet deployed at Coruscant. In absolute numbers, they lost over 10,000 ships, which is a massive blow to the CIS, at least tactically. Strategically, this loss is not very significant. 10,000 out of 200,000 equals 5%. It's still a blow, but not a fatal one. The much more significant development was the death of Count Dooku. While the military losses were bearable, the political loss was not. Without Dooku, the Separatists started to fracture and many worlds would have rejoined the Republic. But 3 days after the battle, the Republic transformed into the Empire. If Palpatine hadn't turned the Republic into the Empire, the belief I mentioned in the beginning would have been right. But the rise of the Galactic Empire changed that. In this case, the real fatal blow was the death of General Grievous. It's actually the Battle of Utapau and the deactivation of the droid army that doomed the CIS. But what do you believe? Am I right? Or was the CIS doomed with the loss at Coruscant? Write your opinion in the comments and consider subscribing the channel if you liked the video. Until next time guys, and may the Force be with you.